Another one, this is Dr. Jawad. I've done a previous video a while ago, and I just want to make an updated demonstration one. This is our model Cassidy. Before I mentioned she's not in any pain, but the presenting symptoms, she's going to mimic that, and I'm going to show you what to look out for with this demonstration of a subluxation of the bicep tendon, which is going to roll forward. Now with Cassidy, the typical presentation is you're going to have just roll your shoulder forward. This one. Yeah. The typical complaint is right shoulder pain. And then when I ask her, where is the pain exactly, she'll point to the back. She'll point to the back. Let's rotate this way. And say, Doc, it's right here. It's right here. Here's the thing. These muscles here, they have no pain generator. You have, again, this is the right, so this is the shoulder muscles. Now we have about 18 muscles of the shoulder area which makes it move. We have 4 main rotator cuff muscles, the supraspinatus, infraspinatus, teres minor, and then in the armpit is the subscapularis. So what she's going to be complaining about is shoulder pain, and she's going to point back here. The thing is, there's no pain generator here. There's no, unless she took a blow to the back of the shoulder and injured the muscle, I always say that's where the smoke is. Look at the way how her shoulder is. It's going to be rolled forward while the left side, the left shoulder, is going to be neutral. It's rolled forward because the bicep tendon, so this is her upper arm, the humerus, so it lies right here. So we have many different bicep muscles. The 2 muscles are the long head and the short head of the biceps brachii muscle, which allows flexion of the elbow and supination. What's going to happen is that this tendon right here is going to fall out of the groove, and it's going to overactivate the flexor group, which is going to deactivate the extensor group. So she's going to have a shoulder that's rolled forward, as well as a slight flexion at the elbow. Now, if she turns to the side, you can see this is the presentation. And I'll tell her to put your shoulder back. She can't. She can't. In addition, she'll have tricep weakness, any type of extensor weakness, because the radial nerve, which is mostly for extension, and it does do a little bit of flexion on the bicep brachioradialis muscle and the aconius, that's shut down. And she's going to be hurting when she tries to pick something up, whether it be groceries or obviously a workout weight or her purse or anything. And the pain is going to be right here. Okay, so let's have a seat. So when she's sitting down, when Cassidy's sitting down, you can see here the presenting factor is the fact that her right shoulder is rolled forward, and her left, this is stationary, so this is normal. If I tell her to move her shoulder back, she can't. So what I do is that I'll ask her, does that hurt? And she'll say, ow. I mean, it's going to hurt. It's not going to sting. It's going to hurt. Okay? Yes. And then she'll say, well, you're strong. I say, I know I'm strong. So let's go to the other side. There is no wincing on this side. And then I'll get her on her elbow, well, on the anterior forearm here, the bicep brachioradialis muscle here. That's fine. And then I'll poke it here, and she'll wince. I mean, and she'll say, yeah, I know I'm strong. But I'm doing the same pressure over here. Now, sometimes if it gets worse, they'll come in with carpal tunnel. Their main complaint will be carpal tunnel, because why? You have the nerves that come out of the neck. They go through the traps underneath the clavicle, down the arm, and they'll be again dispersed accordingly. So where is the compression? You can see right here. And also, because she's in pain, when you have a lot of nociceptive pain fibers firing, they can't extend. It shuts off the extenders because they want to protect the head. So they typically are going to be rolled forward anyways. You can do some orthopedic tests and bring your arm up, hold it tight, hold it tight. Again, you want to test the biceps, nice and strong. Bring this up, hold it tight. Again, it'll be weak. It'd be weak. Why? Because one of the muscles that the radial nerve innervates is the bicep brachioradialis muscle. I'll bring it out here. Now raise your hand like this. Now again, these are the extenders, the radial nerve. This is the one that's shut down. Hold it tight. Hold it tight. You'll see that it'll be weak. it'd be weak. I'm strong, I know I am. Bring this up, very, very tight. Okay, so then let's have you get on your back. Now remember, a table like this is golden because these drop tables, they're sectioned. Now in my previous video that I did a long time ago, the way I adjusted it, it's that I stabilized the bicep tendon and I took her through a long stretch with a rotation to get it back in. This hurts a lot. Because I've had it done a bunch of times to me. It hurts a lot. This is why I always encourage these tables. Another orthopedic test that will tell you, now, side note, the long head of the bicep tendon, okay, because there's a short head. It's a long head that goes through the intertrabecular groove. It's going to feel like a little groove on the upper end of the humerus. And it could be displaced either medial or lateral. 9 times out of 10, it's going to be displaced medial. Not saying it can't be displaced laterally, but it will. In my experiences, most of them are always displaced medial. Now, one way to test it is, let's bring the arm up, close the fist, and again, you'll feel the groove. And also, careful with the palpation because it is, again, this is demonstration, so it's not out on her. But if it was, just by touching it, she'll wince. Okay. And you could feel it because then you'll feel the groove, and then immediately you'll feel the tendon, or laterally you'll feel the tendon. Another orthopedic test is push against my hand. She'll push against my hand, and again, watch her face because it will hurt. It will hurt. This is not it doesn't feel good. So the palpation, and when you're testing it, do it lightly. All right? So one of the things that you'll see is that the left side, the left shoulder, it can lay flat against the table. Her right side will be slightly elevated. And if I try to push, there's going to be some resistance. Now remember, all these are the flexor groups. This above here is all flexors. So I'll palpate, I'll poke the brachioradialis muscle. Again, it's going to be tender on her. It's going to hurt. I'll palpate where the bicep tendon is on her. Now, what I'll also do, because everything is rolled forward, I'll palpate the pec minor muscle, and it will hurt. Remember, all this is rolled forward. So now what you got to do, you have to push it backwards. Now the question is, how did I do it? And my response is always, I'll tell you the mechanics, but don't think about what you did. It's a fluke. She bent her arm at the elbow and internally rotated, which caused enough laxity on that bicep tendon to roll out. And sometimes they'll tell you, the last time it happened to me, I was just rolling over in bed. They'll remind you, oh, it was because they were throwing something out, or if they're an athlete, if they're throwing baseballs or whatnot, you bend your arm at the elbow, internally rotate, it can fall out. And when it falls out, this is the presentation. So then now, let's adjust it. You have to restore the normal joint function. So I start at the wrist. Now, there's a couple things you could do. If you're strong, I always say I have strong hands. She has tiny wrists. I could do a wrist adjustment, okay? Make that work, or the toggle board. It depends on the size. She's tiny, I got big hands, she has tiny limbs. Not a problem. But if the tables were turned, if I was the patient and she was a doctor, there's no way that she would be able to get my strong wrists. So the toggle board is the gold. So what I'm going to do, again, the majority of the wrist bones are right here. Lay it flat, do a little traction, flex it, and just do a couple whacks. I do both sides, because I also want to open the carpal tunnel. And then I walk down the forearm, I extend the wrist. Now why do I do that? Because you have the radial bone here, you have the ulnar bone here. The thing about the radial bone, it has a flat head, which allows this is why we are allowed to supinate and pronate our forearm, because it's a radial head. It has a flat head that allows us to cross over. So you have an ulnar bone and the radial bone, and then in between you have a lot of little interosseous membranes, ligaments, all these little small muscles that, remember, she was in a constant flexion because she couldn't extend. So that's why either you take your finger, massage it in between there, it's not going to be pleasant, or I just keep it simple and use a toggle board. So then now you want to do a quick adjustment on the elbow joint. The brachioradialis, the origin's here, the insertion's here. Remember, she's in a constant state of flexion, so we're gonna adjust the elbow. And again, this might be bitey. Okay, so very quick. That one, I know that hurts, but they might wince. But afterwards, now she's able to extend her elbow. Remember, you want to restore the normal joint motion. So then here, with this table, now I would say the good news is I have very strong hands. She has a tiny shoulder. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to I'm going to anchor that tendon with my fingers and then do a nice thrust. Do a nice thrust. In addition to, because everything starts too at the clavicle, sternum, this bone rotates as well. Again, I always want to adjust the clavicle as well. There you go, very simple. Because remember, muscles attach onto that as well. There you go, there's that. And then afterwards, you can see immediately, this is one of those instant gratifications where doing it right, her arm now is going to be able to lay flat. Just like the left one. If you palpate here, there might be a slight decrease in pain. Why? Because now it's turned on, it's being active. And of course, you always want to come up to the neck. Very simple neck adjustment. Right there, right there. Okay. Now sit up, turn face me. Then you always want to say, now put your shoulders back. So then now it's allowing her to put her shoulders back because what I'm doing, I'm balancing out the posterior and the front group, the anterior and the posterior muscle group, by getting the bicep tendon back in the groove. Make the necessary adjustments. Of course, you always want to also do the AC joint, a very simple adjustment, okay? And I'm activating now the posterior group, the extensor group, the radial nerve, which allows her to bring her shoulders back. One of the things I always suggest, because they ask, what can I do to prevent this? Now the thing is, it's kind of like having an ankle sprain. Once you sprain the ankle, it's always a trick ankle. The bicep tendon goes through the groove here, and it's covered by a retinaculum, which is like nice, thick, electrical clear tape. That's jarred now. So the likelihood of it happening again can be a probability. But one of the things I always tell them is that you want to work out or strengthen the posterior group muscles, posterior delts, because the posterior muscles, they should be stronger than the anterior muscles. It should be more of a 5-to-1 ratio. Now, she works out, obviously, so her distribution may be a little bit different. It may be 15-to-1, it may be 20-to-1. But the integrity of keeping this in place all depends on her strengthening the posterior group muscles, because they'll work together. If you know somebody like this, or if you have this yourself, or you can always share the video, or else give us a call, 630-653-2225, or go to my webpage, www.totalhealthdupage.com. Thanks for watching. Be good.